in the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Welcome to Islamophobia for Dummies. This series shows that you don't have to be a Muslim to see how ridiculous Islamophobia is. In recent news, there is increasing opposition to the building of the so-called Ground Zero mosque in New York City.
Here in New York today, a decision on that issue that set off a national debate.
Former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin jumping in on the debate now over a new mosque. Critics have attacked plans to build a mosque at the site of the terror attacks that killed thousands of Americans, calling it hallowed ground and saying it is just too sensitive a location.
They're going to build a mosque at Ground Zero? We haven't even rebuilt a building at Ground Zero. Now they're going to build a mosque on that hallowed ground? Or is it not exactly hallowed ground?
This is 45 Park Place in Lower Manhattan. It used to be the Burlington Coat Factory.
Okay, actually, I think that's a couple of blocks away from Ground Zero. And it's not technically a mosque, it's an Islamic cultural center. So for its critics, what location would be acceptable?
A half-mile away. Move it several blocks away.
Put it 5 blocks away or 10 blocks away.
A 15-block radius, 20 blocks away.
Here is the first response about this location.
Do you know what it is you're standing in front of right now? You're down near Ground Zero.
I don't know. It says masjid. Is that a Jewish magic shop?
No. It's not a magic shop. Masjid is a mosque. It's a mosque.
Wait, that's a mosque?
Yes, that's right.
But we're 4 blocks from Ground Zero.
Yes, I know. That mosque actually is in the neighborhood I live in. It's been there for 40 years. It predates the World Trade Center.
Holy crap, John. 2 mosques near Ground Zero?
No, that's not the point.
Now I get it.
You get what, Wyatt?
That's how they're going to take over. They're going to build a mosque every 2 blocks until the city's completely covered.
Wyatt, I think you're thinking of Starbucks. I think...
Oh, you're right, man. Thank God those people got here first.
All right.
And now, the second response about this location.
But why not a quarter mile? Why not an eighth of a mile? Who gets to decide exactly what the mileage difference is? The reality is there already is a mosque at that same location right now where hundreds of people are going to... No, at that same location. There is another one 2 blocks away from that one. Why put another one there? It already is there. It's just a question of rebuilding the same structure. I think what's going on in this issue is being used as a fear-mongering campaign.
Indeed, this fear-mongering against Islam has incited widespread religious intolerance and hate crimes.
May 10th, Jacksonville, Florida. A pipe bomb at the Islamic Center of Northeast Florida. The bomb went off during evening prayers, and it was powerful enough to send shrapnel flying 100 yards. Fortunately, the bomber didn't know where to place it, so the 60 Muslim worshippers were uninjured.
In Brooklyn just a couple of months ago, there was a Bangladeshi man, and he was approached by 3 teens, and they asked him, "Are you Muslim?" And he said, "Yes." And they said, "Go back to your bleeping country." Then they attacked him, and the man was in a coma. And now these are teens that could not be prosecuted as adults.
21-year-old Michael Enright got into a New York City taxi last night, asked the driver if he was Muslim, got an affirmative answer, and then allegedly slashed the driver with a knife across the neck, face, and shoulders. Michael Enright was today arraigned on charges of attempted murder 2 as a hate crime.
Let's take a look at some of the biased reporting that is fueling this intolerance and hatred.
There's growing outrage over plans to build more mosques and Islamic centers in America. You've probably heard about a lot of the stories, but in New York City, tempers are really flaring over a proposal to sell a Catholic convent to a Muslim group. And now in rural Tennessee, a plan to build a mosque has sparked vandalism, even death threats.
And of course, the mosque at Ground Zero. Well, according to one monitoring agency, they said, yes, there's an uptick in the number of mosques that are being built. And of course, accordingly, there are a number of people asking, why are these mosques being built in my community?
I think I know the answer one. Because there are Muslims who live in your community? and they can't And I guess they can't find the prayer carpet room in the church or synagogue?
Now let's hear the Islamophobes explain how religious prejudice is not the reason they oppose these mosques.
Is it because of the location, Lauren, or the fact that they're being built at all?
I think there's a question about why are these mosques being built.
There's some people that are afraid, and they're afraid for good reason, because Islamic philosophy and ideology starts in a mosque.
Mass is one of several major Islamist groups in the United States that claim to be moderate, and their mission is to spread Islam to be dominant in the United States.
What? One of the tenets of Islam is to spread Islam? That would be like if Christians went places and built churches to quote,
"Go and make disciples of all nations. Go ye into all the world, and preach the gospel to every creature." And he sent them out to preach the kingdom of God. He commanded us to preach to the people.
It is complete hypocrisy for Christians to attack Islam on this, when the Bible itself commands them to spread Christianity.
But wait! Muslims don't just want to spread their religion. They want to make it the law of the land.
This is in this book. This is the imam that is spearheading the effort to build the mosque. These are his words. He's the one that has argued that Sharia law could be used in the U.S. because they can have their own courts and religious leaders.
Okay, let's stop here for a minute. So the issue is allowing Muslims in the U.S. to arbitrate civil matters internally. Islamic arbitration courts already operate in the UK, as have Jewish courts for centuries. As with any arbitration, participation is voluntary, and especially nothing is being imposed on unwilling non-Muslims.
That he would want to impose, or at least allow for Muslims to have the ability to transcend the American court system.
Oh, yes. See, the thing about Sharia is, the difference is that no other religious system makes rules for people who are outside the religion. But Islamic law does.
What? So I guess in your town I can go buy booze on a Sunday to bring to Adam and Steve's wedding reception?
So not only are the proposed Islamic arbitration courts voluntary, but Christian countries and Israel already impose their religious beliefs on others by prohibiting certain activities such as gay marriage and buying alcohol and sharp timings on Sundays or the Sabbath.
Still, if the new principle is that no one should have to live by the rules of someone else's religion, I know some people who are going to be very disappointed.
Go back to what our founders and our founding documents meant. They're quite clear that we would create law based on the God of the Bible and the Ten Commandments.
We believe in a constitution that's based on those Judeo-Christian ethics.
Most of our laws actually have flowed from the Old Testament.
Aren't all our laws really based on the Ten Commandments?
I know this is God's constitution.
So the hypocrites attacking Islamic arbitration courts love the fact that the U.S. Constitution is based on the Bible.
Wait a minute! Now I know why you don't want mosques popping up all over the place. Competition? Damn free market!
And now, for the final word about this question.
We want to know what you think. Should Muslims be allowed to build their mosques in the neighborhoods of their choosing?
And coming up next, should Puerto Ricans be allowed to lower your property values? Should the Irish be allowed to vote? I'm Diane Sawyer, ABC News. We'll be right back.
Indeed, this whole issue is the same as prohibiting citizens of a specific ethnicity or religion from living in certain neighborhoods, or even from voting. We would like to give special thanks to Jon Stewart, our Jewish brother in humanity, for presenting this issue in a fair and human manner. and displaying what freedom of religion is supposed to be. We sincerely hope you enjoyed this episode of Islamophobia for Dummies, and we hope to see you again next time.